What's up, guys? How are you?
Thank you.
The gate was 3.84 million. We broke the record again for North American Fight Night gates. Sold out. Attendance was 18,287. Fight of the night was Minifield and Walker. Performance of the nights were Jean Silva and Ricky Simone. They all won $50,000.
Start off with the main event. Obviously not the way you want to see any fight end. Did you know, as Henry's getting to minute 4, minute 5 with the eye poke, that he's probably not going to be able to continue?
Yeah.
Do you think he was kind of like gaming the 5 minutes to see if it would come back, or do you think he was just desperate to continue? What do you think of his decision-making in the moment?
I have no idea. I'll let him answer all those questions. Song looked good. And, only he can answer those questions.
It was a good competitive.
I don't know if he thought, if I stop here, is this a DQ and no contest, or I don't know what he was thinking, or maybe he can't see.
Before the fight, it was competitive. Song did look good. I think both of them had their moments. What did you think of the fight before the doctor had to stop?
Listen, the card was incredible. The entire card was incredible.
Give us your thought. You gave him a bonus, but Ricky Simone's knockout at the beginning of the night was unbelievable. One of the best performances you saw this night.
Yeah. I mean, I know you guys have sat through this a million times, but there's this thing that I call the curse of the prelims. When the prelims are incredible, the main card sucks. So
we're all saying that.
Thank you, Seattle, for breaking the curse.
I wanted to talk to you. Obviously, you had a big week at the UFC. Some crazy stuff went down. With Ilya moving up to lightweight, vacating the title. You weren't able to announce it then, but is it safe to say that Ilya Islam is the fight that we're sort of working towards, or could he be fighting?
There's still other possibilities. So there's a lot of shit going on right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have said.
Did he vacate the belt, or did you guys say, if you're moving to lightweight, then we don't want to hold up the featherweight division?
No, he did that. He said, I've done everything I can do here. I'm ready to move up. And he vacated it. He said, I shouldn't be holding up anybody's opportunities. And, it's always, I respect when guys do that.
Diego Lopez said in an interview that the UFC are going to try and sort of stop double champs from happening in the future. So if this case happened, you would have asked Ilya to give up the belt. I don't know if that's a rule, but is that something you'd rather see guys actually vacate rather than try and do both at the same time?
Unless you think you can, defend your title. Listen, if there's a guy that thinks he can do it and wants to defend both belts and has accomplished all these great things, I would have no problem with it. But you're going to be busy.
Did you think he had more work to do at featherweight? Were you okay with his move, or did you think,
I think that he felt he had done everything with the guys that he beat. If you look at who he beat and how he beat them, right? And I don't think he loved making that weight anymore.
And then just talk to us about how Bilal ends up fighting Jack Della Maddalena, how you had to reshuffle all that, and your thoughts on that fight coming up.
Good. Yeah. No. Listen, a lot of shit happens behind the scenes, man. A lot of bullshit that we got to deal with, but that's the business. So whoever is next in line gets the title or the shot or whatever it might be. There's so many times that we've had people to fall out, the night of. I mean, we've had lots of crazy shit happen, but it all worked out, and it usually does.
Just getting back to the main event, obviously Henry and Song seem like they want to have the rematch. Is that kind of what you're thinking, that they should run that one back? Or?
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Why is that?
I just don't want to see it again.
Okay.
Do you?
No, I thought it was a good fight leading up.
You want to see it again? We should probably do it in a couple months.
It depends on the eye, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, we got your answer on that. Seattle was great this week. It really seemed like the fans were into it. You heard the crowd tonight, even at the weigh-ins. Vancouver, you guys go there too. What is it about the Pacific Northwest?
Let me tell you what, this city, I haven't been in this city. I've been talking about this city all day. I haven't been here in 10 years, and I forgot. Let me tell you what, America. Seattle is an awesome city. The people here are amazing. We were walking around, down in the market area today. Lots of different people from everywhere. And raining, nobody gives a shit. And it's just the shops that they have here, the boutiques, the restaurants, the hotels. I forgot how awesome Seattle is. And then the crowd, I mean, the crowd couldn't have been any better. I'm so glad I came to this fight, and I'm so glad we came back to Seattle.
Do you think this will be an annual destination, not Seattle necessarily, but maybe Vancouver, Seattle? Because it does seem like even in Vancouver, too, the crowds are really good.
Are you from Vancouver?
I am.
I figured. Yeah. Yeah, listen, I'm in Seattle right now, and I couldn't. Well, literally, me and my whole crew have been talking about Seattle all day. It's this place is awesome, and we will not wait 10 years to come back here.
Okay, talking about some of the fight announcements, we obviously had Valentina and Manon. Weili Zhang got that big win a few weeks ago. A lot of people would like to see her move up. Would you like to see her fight the winner of that title fight in Montreal, the co-main event?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, and just one more for me here. Obviously, Dustin Poirier is a name that we're hearing might have a fight booked here pretty soon. I know he's getting towards the end of his career. Any update on when we might see his fight book? Because I think a lot of fans are chomping at the bit to see him fight again.
I agree. There has been a lot of talk, and yes, we are working on a fight for him. Yes.
Just two here, Dana.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey there. Regarding the super fights and the champ stuff, I feel like in the past there had maybe been more eagerness or enthusiasm about booking these super fights, whereas now, like when we even talk about Alex Pereira moving up or Dricus, you seem to want these guys to focus on their divisions. Has there been any sort of philosophical change in the matchmaking process about keeping guys in their divisions?
I mean, yeah, unless you've really wiped out a division and you know, like John Jones, who was in lightweight forever and then moved up to heavyweight. Ilya, I get it. It makes sense, you know. When I, like I said, who he's beat and how he beat him, and now he's tired of making weight and wants to move up to 50, totally makes sense. But no, I'm definitely Weili Zhang that just asked me. She's accomplished just about everything you can accomplish in her weight division, and I don't have a problem with it, you know. But I haven't. The philosophy hasn't changed. It's just on a case-by-case basis.
And then I saw a headline going around an interview Dan Hooker did with Submission Radio where he seemed to suggest that Justin Gaethje had asked for and been granted a 3-round fight instead of a 5-round fight. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Dana, over here. Obviously, eye pokes have been a problem for many, many years. You tried to solve them with new gloves, and they're going to be in the sport. But like a significant eye poke like that, do you believe a point should have been taken?
If you thought it was intentional. If you thought he intentionally poked him in the eye, do you believe it was intentional? Yes? Why would he poke him in the eye? He was doing pretty well. If he was getting his ass whooped and poked him in the eye, you could probably make the argument. But you're not sure it wasn't intentional.
No, it didn't.
What's your last name? Cejudo? Jimmy Cejudo over here thinks it was an intentional eye poke.
It didn't seem it. No, yeah, I get your point, but it was fight altering, right? So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, eye pokes are never good, but like you said, they happen a lot, and fights do continue after eye pokes. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look and see how many fights were actually stopped due to an eye poke. Not many.
Right. Fluffy Hernandez picks up a big win. Seems like he's getting up there, man, to a top contender. What did you think of his performance?
Who did you say?
Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was surprised with that fight at how big the odds were. You know what I mean? That he was that much of a favorite in the fight. And when the fight started, Allen looked like the odds makers were very wrong, but it flipped and turned around, and yeah, he won a big fight tonight, beating Allen.
John Silva, it seems like you guys have like a superstar in the making with this guy. He's just kind of a madman.
Definitely a madman.
What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's fascinating, that's for sure. Sean Shelby is a big believer in him and thinks very highly of him. So
does that mean that maybe he gets like a top 50?
Listen, when the matchmakers love you like Sean Shelby loves him, it's never a bad thing.
He did call out Bryce Mitchell. Do you like that fight?
I bet there's a lot of people that do. I don't know. We'll see.
And then on the prelims, Austin Vanderfort's opponent pushed him after the fight.
Yeah.
I just kind of want your thoughts on that. And also, obviously, Paul Daly got banned so many years ago. Has policy changed like that, or
He punched. Paul Daly punched Koscheck in the face. Listen, yeah, it's never good when you go over it, but I don't know why he went after him. I understand he was upset with the referee. And when you watch that fight, if you look, I get why he was upset. He was blocking a lot of the shots. He was blocking. He was still trying to get out of there. And as soon as the fight was over, listen, if a guy is taking a number of just unanswered shots and he's laying there on the ground, he was defending and moving around. And so I understand why he's upset, but yeah. Listen, you know how we are here. He went over and pushed the guy. What should we do? What Paul Daly did was completely different. You just had you had 3 5-minute rounds to punch this guy in the face, and you couldn't. So you're going to go over and punch him in the face after the fight when he doesn't expect it? That's why that was done. He went over and pushed him. We aren't those guys.
But with that being said, if a fighter does get physical after a fight, is that something that you can still lose your job over?
You should see what goes on back here after the fights. You guys would fucking be crying forever if you knew what went on. Be writing fucking all kinds of stories and what are you going to do to them? And believe me, that was nothing.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Dana White over
Yeah.
here. Dana, going back to Anthony Hernandez, obviously he's on a great win streak. You have Nasruddin coming off a big win. Jared Cannonier won the main event last week. When you have a division that's so hot right now like middleweight, can you just let us know what are those talks like on Tuesday about how you even match up all of these guys who have cases to get towards a title fight?
What do we talk about on Tuesday about what is your question?
Like all these top middleweights, they're all in big fights. Guys are looking great. Guys are on win streaks. How do you begin those conversations about how you even move these guys toward the belt?
It's a good problem to have. So when we get in the room and we got these guys that are all, popping and doing great, and now it's just a matter of timing, who's hurt, where are we going? There's a lot of different factors that play into who's going to fight next and where, and yeah, it's not just. There's a lot of things that go into the matchmaking other than just, who's on fire or whatever.
You've seen a lot of teams have these dominant moments, right? American Top Team has had great moments, a.k.a. Going back to John Silva and the Fighting Nerds, you got Carlos Prates, his teammate Caio Borraio. Just what do you think about the moment that whole team is having right now in the UFC?
Huge. And I will tell you this, Prates is a guy that we talk about every Tuesday. Every Tuesday we talk about him.
Do you have a fight for him that you could break the news for us?
No, but we're working on it. We talk about him every single. We talk about that guy Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. He's been talked about a lot lately.
And then finally, just want to ask the signing of Patricio Pitbull for the fight against Yair. Obviously, you had talked about it, that it might be in the works. Essentially, what got the deal done to bring Patricio Pitbull into the UFC?
A phone call.
With who?
Him.
Love it.
Dana over here. I kind of want to springboard off of that with Patricio because I feel like there's a lot of parallels with him and Michael Chandler when he came in, kind of older established guy, Bellator legend, all these things. Do you think because of the age and where he's at in his career and, fighting a guy like Yair on the same card as the featherweight title fight, is he more capable of getting a title shot quicker because of maybe not so much time left, or how do you kind of view that whole aspect?
I think that obviously he's going to get the opportunity now to come in here and challenge himself against the best in the world, and no matter where he's at in his career, beating Yair is a big deal. So he comes in and he beats Yair. I don't know. We'll see. Again, like I said before, we'll see how this whole thing plays out. But massive opportunity for him, and we're excited to give him it.
Is that fight kind of, unofficial backup just in case of emergency because it's on there? It needed the guy.
I hate talking about backups. I hope not.
And just kind of in that same vein, too, another guy who was on the market, Aaron Pico, same division. Has there been any progress with him?
I was telling you, Sean Shelby loves Silva. That guy loves Aaron Pico. So when these guys love you as much as they do, I think good things are probably going to happen.
And just as we're getting back in the Pacific Northwest here, you still owe Portland, Oregon a show too. Is there any chance of getting back to Portland?
Yeah. Listen, we want to go everywhere we haven't been in a long time, and this just proved that, we got to get back to. I can't tell you enough about my experience. I was here for one night and one day, and my experience in Seattle has been incredible. The place is so great, and yes, the answer is yes.
And I guess the last one for me, actually, in terms of the bantamweight division, Sean O'Malley looking likely to rematch Merab, right? And we just got the Sandhagen announcement too. I'm kind of curious how that matchmaking came to be. Was the idea always, again, I don't think the O'Malley one is official yet, right? But we're leaning towards that. How did we get there with so many different options? I think for Sean O'Malley, we could have done maybe an Aldo possibility. There's, especially with him, so many options. How did the bantamweight division shake?
They want to fight each other. I think people want to see it. Good? Seriously? Thank you, Seattle. What a great experience.